Oh, Richard Marsland Studios, the venue for a couple of hours of the best football, I would say analysis, but I'm not sure that's what you'll get out of this crew. I'm just looking to my left. I can see Big BT. After tearing the Whitten game to shreds last night, the big man's back. And looking forward to hearing from him. We've got Nath Brown has wandered in. Hello, Nath.
Hey, Jim.
Great to see you. I didn't know you were part of today. That's a perfect result.
Nice cream knitted jumper
Yeah,
he's got on.
looking very crisp always.
I've been shopping, Brian.
Big week for you, Damo. Lots of news kicking around. Nice to see you.
Hello, Jim. And we've got a bit of an update, or a significant update on the Nathan Buckley, Chris Main matter to come over the course of the next half an hour or so.
And the coach of the Allies last night, Duck, had just got nutted, I'd say in the last seconds, but the game had actually finished for 4.5 minutes before Brownie took the mark.
Yeah, absolutely robbed. I've gone over the tape a couple of times last night. I got home, watched it over again, BT, and just looking at a couple of things we did right and wrong, and some of the positional moves I could have maybe made a little earlier, like you said, BT. Probably shouldn't have started your man in the back pocket, but he was sharp, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Looked
He
fit.
was sharp. But I said last night on the front bar that I was prepared to cop a fine. The umpires were terrible in the last 5 minutes, and then to lose a game after the siren, I'm just shattered.
Well, as we said in the call, Nath, it's rare that you see a goal kicked after the siren. It's even rarer that you see a mark and goal after the siren.
Or a kick and mark.
That's it.
It was Kerry Goodstyle, wasn't it, Jim?
It was. But John O'Brien, all the piss taking aside, has gone back and slotted it from the fence with a drop punt.
Well, BT, and look, as we know, but last night, I don't know, 24 goals, one team kicked, and the barrels Jimmy Bartell kicked.
Yeah,
if
surprised me.
You look at the kicking skills. I know he's just recently out of the game, but you look at John O'Brien and a few of the others. They kick the ball better still now than any AFL
John
player.
O'Brien looked skinny out and slighter and moved better than what he did when he played his last couple of seasons. The same can't be said for Paul Hazelby, unfortunately.
Brad or Paul?
Brad Hazelby.
Who I've called Brad a couple of times. And he came up to me last night and said, "Oh, Brad, is it?" So I felt a bit uncomfortable.
We no longer do the worst on ground on Triple M, but if you had to
because
put
of
up
Duck.
a couple of candidates from last night, Brian, who do you think just didn't get the job done?
Oh, look, there was one guy, he probably sits in the chair that I'm sitting in now on Triple M Breakfast. Luke,
What happened there?
Luke Darcy was, well, how bad was he?
Well, and Bristle,
Scared.
not horrific.
Someone
but
else say it.
Not only
Scared.
He
not
was
only
putrid.
that, but he had sat in this this great hot breakfast studio and said what he wasn't going to do with Monk off the first bounce was nobody's business. He was going to split him in two. He was going to dive his knee into his chest. All this sort of thing. So we had this big build-up. You know, it was almost like Crackers Keenan and, pouring the ground at the
Don Scott.
Don Scott. That was what we thought was going to happen. And then the first bounce happened, Brownie. And Monk pushed him out to the wing.
And we
Just
also
ejected him out of the square.
We also learnt that before the game, he'd been talking about his hamstring and would he or would he not make it. That was all about generating me. But we learnt through some sources.
Doc Rowan White.
Yeah, that
Put him in.
that he actually didn't have a hamstring at all. There was no
Hey,
hamstring.
we've all played with guys that when it gets a little bit tough, even at training, even pre-season, they're the ones that, okay, my back's tightened up a bit, or not having a good day, we're 10 goals down at the MCG, I'm just a bit tight, not my fault. And it's clear to see why back in 97, 98, when we had a chance to win the flag, we had guys like Darcy in our side, and we were never going to win it.
I did say to him before the game, I might have deflated him just a little
think
bit
you did
because
take the
because I sort of said that I didn't want him to skip up. But let's be honest, with an effort like that, he's not skipping material. That was the first mistake.
So take us into the rooms before the game. What was it like? These guys getting together, some of them for the first time in a long time. You've got 20 or 30 guys sitting there. What was the chitter-chatter? How was the reaction to each other? And how did it all blend in behind the scenes?
You know what it is? It is good fun, BT, as you know. You go down in the rooms and all the players, as you said, the respect that the players have for players that they've played against and some played with. It's just really good fun, and the feeling is just like you're going to have a really good night, enjoy their company, and then afterwards all get together and swap a few stories as you normally do.
Now, what are we hearing?
Well,
He's just refusing purple?
to pick up the phone.
This
This,
is the
this is
Duke.
Luke Darcy.
This is a man contracted to our station.
Arranged
Doesn't
to
surprise us.
speak to us at 12:06, and Luke Tunnicliffe is now informing us, just not even
This
answering.
is akin to Sir Alex Ferguson when he was the manager of Man United, refusing an interview with his own website.
Well, Ed
He's
texted
not
me while we
coming
were on air
on.
last night saying, could you please replay the vision of him doing his hamstring? I had to tell Ed that there was no vision because he hadn't done his hamstring.
walked on and
He
walked
was
off.
just terrible.
He was apparently he said he tweaked his calf.
his
he
calf
tweaked
now.
It. No,
The
he
guy's
tweaked his
turning into
calf.
Spud. He's got that many stories
So
going,
he
he
had-
doesn't know what he's
He tells
told me.
one story to one person, another to another. Hey,
He
Doug,
had
you wouldn't-
trainers. He had trainers at half time putting a wedge in his boot.
Oh.
All sorts of stuff.
orthotics. Doug, you wouldn't have heard the commentary. Obviously, you're involved in the game. Did you hear it, Brownie?
Yes.
Yeah. How's the chemistry between our two?
It was
men
good,
over
wasn't
the
it?
corner?
It was good to hear Jim
It was
back.
good to have them back together on TV
Yeah, it
in a
was.
way that
work well
clearly
together.
something's being worked upon for
Bristol,
the future.
listen
Brownie.
to these half-wits.
How was the box
time.
anyway?
It was just beautiful. Just the two voices, no special comms even, just Brayshaw and
Try
Taylor.
and rip it into something.
Why didn't you have
That's all they're
why didn't
doing.
you have any
Brayshaw-
special comments, people?
You know what's noticed, Brownie? Jay Brayshaw wearing a Channel 7 on his lapel.
Oh, was he?
Oh, Hose Mary just getting involved in the discussion.
So,
Hey, look at Hose
how was it,
suddenly.
BT, to have him back
Perk up.
calling TV football and the first of many games for 7 to
Don't
come?
tip
Oh,
into it.
look, it was fantastic. I mean, I call with JB every weekend, have for 15 years, so it just sort of happened. We were brilliant together. But
There was a real TV
other than
chemistry,
that,
though.
what can I say? No, it was good fun, and it's just a one-off for JB.
That's it. That's it, and a nice one too.
Yeah, it was good.
Now we do need to have a listen.
Move on.
We do need to have a listen to John O'Brien. It was extraordinary with all of the fun that we have in this game. This after the siren, unable to go off the line, obviously, or that was the end of the game, so he had to stay on the line, kick a drop punt from outside the ground. Have a listen.
Richard Short, 5-point ball game. Johnson, Uze, the slaughter, siren's gone. All stars at one.
Hang on.
Oh, he's paid the mark.
I don't think the umpire heard the siren, Brian.
Jonathan Brown has paid the mark. He can't play on. He has to kick it from the angle.
Oh no.
A kick after the siren to win the game.
He's got 5.
Jonathan Brown has got to kick the goal from the boundary to win it for the Vicks. What can he do? We're right behind it. I think he's got it.
No
Oh, he's got it. Brown's kicked the goal.
That is unbelievable.
Can you believe it? Wowee.
Oh, bugger off.
It
Never
sounded
looked
like
like missing. Never looked like missing. It went straight through the middle, didn't it?
yeah, it did sound like there were 100,000 people there.
That's the sort of electricity that you can generate if you know what you're doing.
No,
It was a great night. There was some other worst on ground candidates, and some of our great friends, people like Sam Fisher, nowhere near enough
Actually,
for me.
what was
A
he
man who's just
doing?
played the game
Yeah.
at an incredibly high level,
Yeah.
almost didn't
Looked good, though,
recognise
as
the
always.
share. It looked good. I think he might have had his mind elsewhere.
Who did you feel was it just a bit too serious, the Richie Vandenberg style?
Film material.
Yeah, the film material. You kick it
What the
7
hell
and
was
not
he
giving
on
him
about?
off, and everyone's giving him handballs, and he doesn't reciprocate. I mean, what is going on there?
He reached the red zone, didn't he?
Yeah,
and they
he did.
taking
He
themselves
blew it
too
up.
seriously.
At the end of the game, both JB and I thought, I wonder whether we should have had that. Because, the serious meter. It's,
I liked it as a viewer.
I know the players didn't know that you had that.
And that's a good thing.
And it's funny, actually, you talk about what the banter was. A lot of the banter at half time, 'cause you've obviously played a half, the players are talking about, he's taking it pretty serious, isn't he? And, it's funny because John O'Brien last night was saying how serious Danny Southern was taking it. Danny Southern was saying how serious John O'Brien was taking it. So they were playing on one another and talking about how serious.
Brownie does take it seriously. I know you didn't want to go down him, BT. by
He was
calling him.
nominated early.
Was he?
We was
Okay.
just as someone to watch.
Captain.
But I reckon the other thing, Boomer Harvey is a great example of this. I reckon that a couple of the players heard that they'd been targeted as potentials for taking it too seriously. So then they overcorrected and got nowhere near the ball. I reckon little Boom Boom got told at half time, mate, you actually got to get involved, and then for 10 minutes just tore it to shreds.
A bounce run at one stage.
He's playing today in a final, Boomer.
Yeah, he is. A great result for the E.J. Whitten Foundation. I think over 500,000 in that kick as a result of last night. Perhaps a few little extra trimmings as well. So to all those players that took part, and a lot of them come from interstate, don't give up their time. And I know it's great fun to get back together, but it is a bit of a commitment for them to play, and it's great to have, because that was the best quality fields we've had last night.
Yeah, the standard
best
was
skilled. It was great.
Yeah, the kicking of the ball, as you already said.
Wisby Watson, coaching staff abandoned him.
Yes.
He came into the game alone. He had to pull a player out of the team, a Big Shorts Harford,
Oh, did he?
just so he had someone to coach with.
Well, Danny Frawley pulled
man,
out. He was
two-
on the press release when it was first announced who was coaching Duck, and then the next press release it didn't have his name on it.
Well, where'd he go?
Well, depends who you speak to, because I've had 4 different versions of why he pulled out.
They're all from Spud.
Yeah.
3 of them from Spud and 4 from other people. But he tells one thing to one person and forgets that person may speak to another person who's heard a different story. So what was it, BT?
Well,
you know him.
In the end, I don't know, but I think he was a little fearful of what he might have copped from JB, perhaps, as a result.
That was one of the 4 I've heard.
Anyway, he pulled out late, Spud, for no particular reason.
And then I understand that
We had another guy pull out as well. but
Whispers
anyway.
Watson went to G Lion late and pleaded with him to be his assistant and was resoundingly told to bugger off.
Why didn't you have a special comms,
what?
BT? Was it just because you wanted JB to be showcased in the Channel 7
No,
attire? And
That
the-
was exactly the reason.
Right.
JB felt that he
He
didn't...
sought that, yeah.
He
When he
felt
met
that
Lewis Martin 2 Mondays ago, did he say, we don't need
Kidding.
other voices?
I was asked to leave the room at the time, but I did stay with the ear glued to the door.
And?
And I heard him say, "We don't. By the way, we don't need a special comments person. I can do that as well."
Oh, listen to this.
I ran into Fev a couple of weeks ago, and he said he might have been doing it.
No, I don't. In the end, I don't think he got asked. I'm not sure.
Not sure either. Well, you run the joint, Bristol. I just turn up and do as I'm told. But anyway, what I find astounding with all of this, Duck, is that the Duke seriously had committed to speaking to us today about the game last night.
Yeah.
Now is refusing to answer the phone.
Well, you can be poor once, but you can't be poor twice in a row. You don't make 2 mistakes. One mistake's okay,
Well,
Brownie. You don't make
he
2.
thinks he's just by delaying and bypassing today that he's going to escape. Malloy's after him as well, and so is Ed. So they'll fix him up on the breakfast.
And
Yep,
Duck
on Monday.
didn't miss him last night either. Have a listen.
Listen, really poor in the second part of that quarter. I'm not sure what happened. Das. I didn't want you as skipper. You all knew that. I said that before the game. You said you had something in you. You played like... You've been terrible. I was off the ground, mate. You've been terrible. Your centre bounce work, Bungie, we've got a 2-time Norm Smith medalist in there, and you can't get the ball anywhere near him. At least put it within a 5-metre radius of him. Get your hands to it. Get up. Get your knee into him. A bit of aggression.
Yeah, it's a fair straping.
That's it. Actually, when you listen to that and you listen to the last 14 minutes, it's not surprising he's not answering the phone. We need to get to a break.
It was real ships in the night stuff,
that-
Das. Real...
That first bounce.
Soft underbelly.
That reminds us, is it true that you're going to come up with your top 10 paganisms a little bit later
yes,
on?
I've got some Pago stories.
Oh,
and
looking forward to
paganisms.
that.